Hi, welcome to Julius Bar. Today we're gonna mix a blood and sand. So the blood and sand was first mixed in 1922 and it's named after a Rodolfo Valentino movie based on Sangre y Arena, a novel from the 1909 about some matador and some love story. I don't know, something like that. I'm really curious about this drink because I saw it mentioned many times as the worst drink ever. And so, let's give it a try. I'm gonna mix one version for sure, but I don't know if I feel like it, I might even mix a second version. So the first version I'm gonna mix, it's slightly different from the standard recipe because everybody says the standard recipe is too sweet. And I don't like sweet stuff, so I'm gonna skip the standard recipe right away and jump to a slightly less sweet recipe, but just slightly less sweet. So let's give it a try. Let's chill our coupe. And first of all, let's build our blended scotch. As I told you in my penicillin video, I think, I don't actually own a blended scotch whiskey. I have this one, which is a blended malt. So it's a blend, but everything that's inside, it's single malts, which means it's 100% barley. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mix this one in the quantity of 15 milliliters to get the maltiness to a single grain whiskey, which is this Port Dundas from 2006 cask strain from Signatory. And actually Port Dundas, it's a distillery that's now closed in Glasgow, but it used to make for many years the grain whiskey that will go into the Johnny Walker whiskies, blended scotch. Like every other Johnny Walker is actually a blended scotch. Red, black, double black, gold, even the blue. They are not blended malts, but they are blended scotch because they all contain some part of grain whiskey. I hope by doing so I'm gonna get the maltiness but add a bit of a light flavor and more vanilla like from the single grain. Let's see what we got in this 50-50 blend. Yeah, definitely smell less malty and more blended. Yeah, I think can work as a substitute for a blended scotch. And the recipe I'm following comes from some small amount of peated whiskey, and before I propose you the Kiloman as my standard peat bomb to go to, today I'm gonna propose you the Long Row from Campbelltown, which is also peat strong, let's say like that. And it's also a bit wild with those Campbelltown accents. So I'm just gonna add a teaspoon of this to get a bit of smoke going. And let's see where we land. Of course, if you have a Johnny Walker Black, maybe you can just skip all this process and just use a smoky Johnny Walker or Dewar's, something like that, and you're gonna be fine. Oh, the smell improved 100 times. And suddenly it's actually more fruity and smoky at the same time. Yeah, I think we can work with this. So now that we build our blended scotch, let's start the mixing process. And I'm gonna use another pretty curious thing. This tiny thing, it's a blood orange I was able to find here in Japan. Something that I never saw before, and it's actually grown in Japan, and it was a bit expensive, but it's something of a crazy experience. I actually bought three, and the other one were kind of sweet. I would say sweeter than the blood orange. But definitely tasty. But sweeter than the blood oranges I have tried a lot in Italy. In Italy, blood oranges are maybe as popular or more popular than normal oranges. Yeah, they have a bit sweeter flavor, but also some people describes it as more berry-like, and definitely a brighter color. So I hope we got at least 30 milliliters of juice, because that's what we are gonna need for this cocktail. Exactly 30 milliliters. I guess this orange was bioengineered to provide us with the exact amount. So 30 milliliters of freshly squeezed juice, then 22.5 milliliters or 3/4 of an ounce of red vermouth. I'm gonna use the Carpano Antica Formula, our standard go-to vermouth, and then this really interesting cherry herring. This is a cherry liqueur from Denmark. Well, now it's owned by Netherlands people. But anyway, it's originally from Denmark. It's still made in Denmark, and it's made by smashing the cherries. And unlike the maraschino, which is I think a distillation of the cherries and it's white, these are cherry macerated into some other kind of alcohol with their stones, their seed inside, and that's give it a bit of almondy flavor, which is not bad at all. Also, it's sweet, but it's not as sweet as I was expecting from description online. It's quite tasty actually. Let me see. It tastes a bit like cherry syrup, but not too bad, not offensive in that regard. Then we add our blended scotch, which is made from 15, 15 and 5, 15 blended malt, 15 single grain, and 5 of peated Campbelltown whiskey. And we are done. Let's shake with some good ice. And see what we get. Let's double strain this to get rid of the orange pulp. And then let's express some orange peel. I'm gonna use the peel of some different orange because the peel of that tiny blood orange was too thin, and I tried before to squeeze it and just give you nothing. So let's try this orange, an American orange. Let's give it a bit of a squeeze. And let's discard this. And let's complete by garnishing with my favorite. Scotch cherry. And there you go, a blood and sand. Is it gonna be such a terrible drink as some people want you to believe? Let's see. Cheers. It's actually really good. It's not terrible at all, it's really good. I don't know about the orange I expressed. Maybe not the best orange. My problem with oranges keeps going on. I really can't wait to go to Italy this summer, and I'm just gonna do some orange episodes, squeezing all the oranges I can get my hands on. Yeah, the only thing not working is this orange peel I squeezed, which is a bit weird. The rest of the cocktail really were balanced. The smoke disappeared in the mix, but I think it gave it a kind of meatiness, savory almost. And it rounds off the cherry and the red vermouth, but they complement each other quite well. It doesn't taste like cough syrup. But also I'm not American, so if this tastes to you cough syrupy, maybe it's the cough syrup we have in US. To me the cough syrup, it's more like the apricot flavor of the apricot brandy. That's more cough syrupy to me. This one is just delicious. So I was thinking of making one more version, but I think we are pretty set with this one. It's really, really good. Let's give a shot to my favorite Fabbri Amarena. But the orange is so wrong. Never gonna squeeze that peel again. It's not an apple orange, it's some kind of some other kind of orange, and it's weird. Not what I was looking for. On the other side, the juice from that tiny cute blood orange is delicious, it's good. I really like this. One thing to note, I think this cocktail has to be really chilled. If it starts getting warm, I think, yeah, it's gonna steer toward medicine territories. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, share. Do whatever you want. Shake yourself a drink, and I will see you next time. Cheers. It's some time I don't use them.